What is going on out there, peeps? Okay, so I guess it was last year. Last year, sometime, I got invited to join a private group that would allow you to, um, you know, buy into some blocks. What it was is a chunks of money. And then what they would do is they would take that money over and they would invest it into all these different stocks over there in Iraq. Obviously, right now, the stocks are super, super cheap. If you think about where the value of the dinar is, this is why you could buy a ton of stock for very, very cheap. Okay. So it was a closed group of people, closed. And so, again, with any type of investment at all, there's always risk. But again, I kind of measured it and went through it. I don't know the people very well. I mean, I talked to them on a couple of occasions. So I said, yeah, you know what? I'm going to do it. I had a little bit of discretionary funds. And so I got myself a couple of blocks. They have a flat rate of about $110 per block. So what happens is they take the number of blocks you buy, right? And then they divide it into a number of shares that are out there. So everybody owns the amount of blocks you own determine how much you get paid back from your investments. So let's say I have 10 people and each one of them have one block that they've bought into. And all of a sudden we've earned from the stock $10,000. Well, that means each block gets $1,000. That's after, obviously before fees and taxes. So do you see how that works? So let's say, we got 15,000, but one person had two blocks. Well, obviously they get more because they bought more blocks, if that makes sense. So the more blocks you buy, obviously the bigger a portion of the pie you get is how that works. Okay. So the group was closed and we had put out word, that group was available when it first came out, and it quickly filled up and people were bugging me trying to get into the group. And, it was a closed group and it was, that's it. They had set restrictions on that group. So we couldn't get into it. Well, I've just been informed that they have opened up another group for people who want to buy into the Iraqi stock exchange. Now, again, keep in mind, with the rate being where it is, very low, this gives the group, the people that buy into this group, an opportunity to pick up millions and millions of shares of different stock in Iraq. And of course, the thought process being that when a rate change happens, obviously it would have a huge effect on the values of the stock. They would shoot up. And so everybody holding on to stock in the market would benefit from that rate change because it would affect the stock, essentially, is the thinking behind this. Okay, so people kept asking me, just so you guys are aware, the Iraqi stock groups are not my groups. I don't control them at all. I'm not in charge of them. But I'm just letting you know that I bought into one of the groups, and it looks like I'll be getting into the second one too. So there's a lot of you out there who are interested in buying into this group if it ever came up again. All right, so just let me show you what we're talking about. We're talking about the Iraqi stock market. So the stocks, here's the thing. There are not a lot of there's not a lot of companies on here. So it makes it really easy to gobble up a lot of different stocks, you know what I mean? And position yourself to be in the right place at the right time, if you get my drift. So, I watch this from time to time like I do ours over here. I used to be kind of obsessed with this when I used to analyze the bejeebas out of this. So anyways, so a lot of you, again, were asking if this group ever opened up again to please let you know. So I at least have their contact information. I will at least share that with you. But again, I have to tell you, this, as far as any affiliation, I'm just passing the information on to you. I will let you know that I am in the groups. I can share that with you, but I don't have any control over it whatsoever. Okay. So, like any other investment, if the stock market in Iraq crashes, well, you can lose out. But here's the thing, you're probably going to invest in probably just a couple $100, maybe about 350. That's on the minimum side. So, you have to weigh this out. For me, I said, well, that's a low risk, high reward situation. So if is it going to be, how bad off am I going to be if I lose that $350? Obviously not bad at all. It's not that big of a deal. So I didn't mind buying into the groups. Okay, is the point I want to make. Okay, so if you're interested in this, I'm going to go ahead and give you the contact information so you can ask them about it, so you can get into this group if you're interested. Again, what this group does, they have a broker that they use that buys into the Iraqi stock exchange. So you could buy and invest in the stock over there. Remember when I do my Iraqi videos, I tell you guys that I'm not just looking into Iraq short term, but also long term. And this is that long term part, is investing into the stock that's over there in Iraq. So I watch this. So for those of you who are thinking, man, it'd be great to have benefit from a change in the rate for the money I'm holding, but that's a one-time deal. Once it's changed and you exchange it, it's over with. But investing into stock is ongoing. You'll continue to get paid dividends from your shares, and it'll go and go and go. Do you see what I'm saying? So for those of you who are interested in what I was talking about, investing into Iraq long term, now will be your opportunity to jump in on this. Now, I do believe it's a 3-block minimum, which means you have to have a minimum of around $330 is what it is just to buy in. So I'll at least give you the heads up on that so that you are ready for this. Okay, again, I told you, once Iraq starts getting their crap together and they start rebuilding their infrastructure, as they start, again, rebuilding their country, obviously as the economy improves and you own stock in these different companies, it's only going to get better. So again, this is like a jumping in at the ground level and an opportunity to benefit big time. And obviously what we're anticipating for those of us who are bought into these groups is that when a rate change happens, that it would have a positive effect, a major positive effect, obviously, on our shares. And in the first group, we own, I think, somewhere collectively about over a $500 million shares in different companies, because right now it's inexpensive. So we own over not $1 billion, $500 million shares of each of these companies. Okay, do you see the benefit of getting in now? If you get in now, it's going to cost you, a few $100s. You can continue to buy as many blocks as you want. It's up to you. Obviously, the more blocks you buy, the bigger your return on the dividends. Okay. So I told everybody, if I got this information, if they'd open up another group, that I would at least share this with you. So, must again tell you that I don't have any controls over these groups. I'm into them myself. I told you I look at Iraq short term and long term. I wasn't lying. I walked the walk. I talked the talk and I walked the walk. All right. So this is an opportunity for those individuals who are interested into buying into Iraq long term, into this stock, and getting in while it's dirt cheap. As a collective group, it gives you an opportunity to buy millions and millions and millions of shares before they get too costly once the rate change happens. Do you see how that happens? Do you see what I'm talking about? So they'll explain it to you better. I mean, I just bought into it and I just know they're there and I just leave it as it is. So again, this is, I will share this information with you. Hopefully you can see this right here. Make sure you pause. So, it's, Andy, sorry if I messed your name. It's Willard Enterprises Investment Iraqi Stock. So it says you can buy blocks and shares and then dividends. You can buy blocks and share in dividends. My bad. Let me read it right. All money received from the broker in Iraq will be split evenly between the number of blocks. So obviously, the more blocks, the more dividends you get. You can get more information by visiting me, and I did put the link in the description, so you guys can go there and at least check it out. You do need to make an initial purchase of 3 blocks, so that's what I was talking about. There's it in there, but you can continue to buy more if you want to. So they have these conference calls, so you guys can listen in and ask questions if you're interested. So I think this was when did I get this? This was on the 11th. So on the 11th, they already had their conference call. But once you give them your email, they will send you notices informing you when the conference calls are happening, so you can listen in on the changes and what's going on, and you could stay updated constantly, and you can hear all the changes that are going on. They keep you informed. That's a good thing, obviously. Okay, so they jokingly said they already made their first bad video. But nonetheless, I encourage you guys to at least go check it out. This will be the link. It will be in the description. So here it is. You guys asked me about this last year. The group was closed, and there was nothing I could do to get any of you in. Now is your opportunity to get in at the ground level. All right? All right, you guys. So jump on over there. This is your chance, okay? I wanted to at least share this with you. I don't control the group, but I am invested in it because I'm thinking long term. All right? So that's it for now. Let me know what you think. Check them out. Now's your chance. Have a good one.